Hi. I'm back from Mexico. I went to Mexico and all that stuff. So now, I realized that I'm in pajamas and all that stuff, but we're going to continue on. We're going to do the July reads for everybody. You can take a look into the description box for everything you need to know. Death Rattle by Pantera. Into the Groove by Madonna. The cover of Fade Into You by Muzz. So it's basically the lead singer of Interpol and a bunch of other people. And 3-0 by Slipknot. I am really, really stoked and curious to see who we're going to have next. Oh, Sagittarius. Awesome. Let's see what we have for you. Yeah, there you go. I am in my office. I got rid of my table and we got the spare room all figured out. So, Sag, let's check out, you can check out your rising, moon, and Venus sign for everything you need to know. If you need to know your rising sign, you can look at a place like Cafe Astrology to figure out what that is. We're going to start with an I Am Power Pack affirmation for you, followed by the Botticelli Tarot. We're going to use that to do past, present, future spread for you. Then we're going to finish it all off with magnetic poetry. And yeah, that's what I'm going to go do for you. Again, like I think I already said, check the description box for everything you need to know, including everything you need to know about me, all my social media-ness, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, let's see. For Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, what is your affirmation? I do take only flippers and jumpers. I am clairsentient, claircognizant, and clairaudient. My ear ringing in my ears on the left. Those messages from people I know that have passed on. When I hear it on the right, those are messages from my spirit guides. So, actually, other way around. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. Anyway, let's keep going. Affirmation for you. The left is from people I know that passed on, right from my spirit guides. Left from my spirit guides, right from people I know that have passed on. So silly. It's so silly. It's been so long. Just look in the description box, whatever. I am financially secure. That is the affirmation that you need to tell yourself to keep everything keep yourself motivated through July. We're going to get going. Get started for you. I'm getting used to the new setup being at my actual desk, my desk that I normally would be at if I was working at my previous career. But we'll see here. It's been a relatively new setup. I've only done one reading at my desk here. So again, using the Botticelli Tarot for you. And I'm in my pajamas. I think that also probably has something to do with it. But yeah. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I need to leave to stay right here. Say goodbye to something, someone, a situation that you thought might have changed or should have changed by now but hasn't. Very nice, smooth shuffles. One more. And twist for fairness. Hit this button if you like what I do. Subscribe if you aren't already. In the past for you, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Past energy for you. One sec. Okay. Okay. So I only take 3 max. Looks like we've got them. We have the 10 of Wands in the upright with the 9 of Cups in the reverse to start. Carrying burdens and responsibilities. You're literally on the precipice of completion with carrying responsibilities and burdens, and you're feeling the weight of those at this time with the Ten of Wands. Again, it's important to remember that with that exhaustion also comes completion, to where you can start to see some inspiration popping up in the future. It might actually be a result of carrying burdens and all of that weight of responsibility on your shoulders. There has been a little bit of self-neglect at the same time here in the past energy. All of the weight bearing down on you is creating a lack of attentiveness to the self and self-care, self-love, exercising self-love and self-care, which can be anything from making sure that you're taking care of your spiritual health, all the way to just giving yourself the time and the space for relaxation, taking a minute, right? It could also be seen in a lot of circumstances. We see the Nine of Cups in the reverse. This is Nine of Cups. Yeah, sometimes we can see the Nine of Cups in the reverse actually indicate where there's a need for somebody to walk away from something that's normally of personal wish fulfillment in order to seek out the love of self, to exercise love of self, to move towards greater emotional fulfillment. Intuitively, you understand that there is a piece of deep personal emotional fulfillment and connectedness with another, or even with the self, in order to connect with another, that is imperative at this time. Less living into the intellectual space and more living into the intuitive space, but also connecting with that deep emotional watery place where you are feeling more than thinking. Scorpio energy here. But confidently feeling rather than thinking, right? I might kill the lights in a sec here. Yeah, and it's after a period of introspection that you know that you require in order to do that. The need to take stock, to connect and feel more deeply and more confidently, to connect with oneself in that emotional place of feeling rather than thinking. What is it that you need to heal? But also, what is it that you need to sort through when it comes to the watery as opposed to the airy side of things, the less intellectual side of things, to be more in touch with the intuitive as opposed to the intellectual, right? And it's through coming out of a meditative space, a space of sleeping it off, a place where you have needed to heal from the Three of Swords, pain, heartbreak, but also a place where you've needed to meditate deeply on something, to really take stock of what has changed for you, where you could improve, where you need to give yourself more credit, but connecting with yourself on a higher plane in order to serve yourself and what your highest good is. What else do I have here? In the past energy. It's too many. It's almost as if there has been there have been too many ideas and too much mental clutter in order for you to do this, it seems. And so connecting with yourself in a place of meditation, in the dreamlike state, any of those serves you well. Because all the ideas and all of it's almost like dry or lint of an intellectual sort, you know? Where you need to really start to connect up with what it is you feel rather than what it is you think. in the past. In the past, Sagittarius. I might have to actually pull some cards here. I normally don't prefer to pull cards. I normally like to just let them fall or fly, because that way you know that it's meant to be. What else? What else? Okay. 7 of Swords in the reverse. So there is a lack of treachery and dishonesty, where you might have anticipated that there was dishonesty or treachery or something going on behind your back. This could be something that you were meditating on in the past. Why is it that you felt a sense that there was something going on behind your back? Normally, 7 of Swords, we always have to relate back to the Rider-Waite, because Rider-Waite is oftentimes, especially with the cards I use, the Rider-Waite is what most of my decks are based on. Their imagery sometimes can kind of deviate from that a little bit, but the 7 of Swords is in and of itself a soldier stowing away in the night from camp with swords on his back so that the knights cannot see him sneaking away. And it seems like you're coming out of meditation about why it is that you may have felt the need to do that, or why you may have felt that another individual may have been doing that in the past when it wasn't the case. Especially with the 7 of Swords in the reverse, it's a lack of treachery, a lack of need to hide something or keep something hidden. So it's almost as if you had to meditate on why you believed there was treachery, why you believed there was deceit, why you believed that there was something happening either to you or at your hands. So there's a taking of stock there, or how you could be more transparent in this regard. It's the being in touch with the intuition that is, you know, imperative here with this Scorpio guy. You could have Scorpio in your chart. You could be a Scorpio Sag cusper. But it's the need to follow your intuition or be more in touch with your intuition, as opposed to looking at things from an intellectual space. And doing that the connection with the self through a deeper intuitive period or a deeper meditative period. That going within, delving beneath the surface into the psyche to seek answers, seeking to understand your own motivations or your own subconscious fears, if you will, about that. We can see what else around it, and it'll help to color it, of course. Finally, here on the end for you in the past, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, that's a whole bunch of card vomit. It's almost like you have a lot to say about it, but you don't want to say all of it. It's as if everything kind of all comes tumbling out, or there's fear that all of it could come tumbling out if you were to allow it. So you try to take stock of it all before doing so, before sharing, so that that wouldn't be the case. Let me more here. Sagittarius. In the past. Okay. Then, yeah, okay. So the Page of Cups in the reverse. There's a lack of apology or communication of an emotional nature that was happening in the recent past. That could actually be the causal factor. And it comes to the feeling of deceit or dishonesty that you felt was being exacted upon you, or the reason that somebody else, because, you know, this energy is bi-directional always, unless I see it completely and utterly blatant in the cards, right? And so one way or another, it seems to be that there's a lack of an emotional communication of some sort that caused this dishonesty, rather the feeling of dishonesty, or the feeling of treachery, or the feeling that one was being deceived. And it's through that period of sleeping it off under the tree, or taking stock, or an attempt at healing oneself through inner dialogue, where the realization comes to the forefront in the recent past. Through really having the conversation with oneself and connecting with a really deeply emotionally secure space, that happens, where one can say that the emotional communication wasn't there, or I didn't communicate my emotions, or this person didn't communicate their emotions, or and it's a small communication, but the simplest in the simplest of terms, even the simplest of terms on the emotional level, that small bid for connection would have exemplified something more. It would have indicated more, or it would have meant, it would have helped to validate in some way. Yeah. Help to validate in some way. In the present for you. There's where we can start dragging down, right? In the present for you. Just saw the Emperor. Aries energy on that if it comes out. But Sagittarius, what do we have? In the present for you. Oh, we got 3. No, we got 4 and 2 stock. So we have to take the 2 the stock. We have the 4 of Wands in the upright with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So there's a little bit of a burden here that has to do with a foundation, a firm foundation that you're working on or building, the 4 posts of a marriage bed, but also 4 walls of a home, something that you're attempting. There's like a lot of pressure that you put on yourself to establish a firm foundation of a home, or to create the proper foundation for a relationship in one sense or another. It seems to be something that is also driven by passion, something that keeps people warm. There's an immense amount of responsibility that you placed on yourself about this. But the Ace of Swords in the reverse on this also, which is, you know, the Ace of Swords is a sword of truth. So it's almost as if there's a lack of truth in this somewhere. And I'll have to look at the surrounding cards, but there are many different ways that this could fall. Because we have it directly under the 9 of Cups, and it has the 10 of Wands in close proximity to it, as well as the King of Cups. It could be that there is a lack of connectedness to the intuitive space, or you're ignoring your intuition. And therefore, in the present, you're not connected with your personal truth when it comes to this firm foundation, or this home space that you're attempting to create. It is a firm foundation, but there's self-deception here, or deception associated with the firm foundation. It's not that, but here's the thing. It's not that it's a lack of firm foundation, because it is upright. The 4 wands are upright. It's that there's deception as far as the intuitive space, or the lack of self-love, or or the amount of burden and responsibility. Somebody is not being honest about the amount of responsibility that it requires to uphold this firm foundation, or to uphold the walls of the home, or uphold the warmth within the home space. And that's in the present, right? There's also something here where it could be that somebody is not feeling secure in their emotion, like they're not feeling emotionally secure, or not feeling emotionally mature or connected. Like they might be feeling disconnected from their emotions or their intuition, or not feeling that they're venerating themselves in the connectedness of their feelings. Because of the burdens and the great responsibility that's associated with upholding the four walls of the home, keeping the foundation stable. Let's hear more. Sagittarius. Feels like the whole world is up on my shoulders. Same town, new story by Interpol. Feels like the whole world is up on my shoulders. Okay, tell me more. Oh, we got 3 this time. 2 swords in the reverse, Knight of Wands in the reverse, Magician in the upright. A direction has been chosen. Somebody has taken a blindfold off, and they see they see the connectedness with the emotional space. My nose is really itchy. They're no longer sitting with the blindfold and at a stalemate crossroads, or feeling as if they have their hands folded in front of them, defensive. They've chosen a direction. The lack of truth. They've chosen a direction. There's you following this. Passionate action forward is normally our Knight of Wands. It's also you. But it's a lack of passionate action moving forward in favor of manifestation and mastery of the self in order to greater master the elements. Somebody is turning inward as opposed to turning outward in search of a way to better sustain the 4 walls of this home. And they meditated on it and attempted to find a way that is honest and noble. The manifestation in the mastery of self. It lacks it lacks passionate action and emotional communication in the present. But it is a direction nonetheless that they've chosen. It seems to be that there's some self-sacrifice and burden in order to keep the 4 walls of the home intact, or to keep everything upheld. And it's almost as if turning inward is a way of kind of halting passionate movement forward. Passionate movement forward isn't always a good thing, though, too. Just because we have our knights moving forwards and taking action doesn't necessarily always mean that it's positive. Sometimes it's better to methodically and slowly move towards something strategically, and again, master the self in order to master the elements, as opposed to harnessing fire and hurtling fire towards everything. Definitively, there is a lack of deceit here. If we were seeing trickery and illusion, this would be in the reverse. So it's almost like saying being more methodical and slow moving and turning inward and taking stock of things and holding back from taking fiery, passionate action forward actually helps to serve the purpose of creating stability, an air of stability. It's almost like demonstrating that someone is not being deceptive, even though there's a lack of passionate action and a lack of emotional communication. The stability is being demonstrated through slow, methodical, thoughtful effort and consistent introspection and thoughtfulness, and harnessing the energy from an appropriate, skillful space. I just can't figure out why this Ace of Swords is there. And, the funny thing is that, I watch tarot too, man. And sometimes people, when they watch tarot, they're screaming at the screen or thinking to themselves or talking to themselves while they're listening, going, this is why, this is why, this is why. Well, we'll see what we see when we drag it down. Yeah, self-deception, though. So the Five of Swords is normally about self-deception. So in attempting to not deceive another, there is some self-deception. Is it that the need to speak on something from an emotional standpoint isn't a necessity? Is that something that someone is deceiving themselves about? Or that someone needs to master the elements, that their manifestation isn't nigh? I don't like to use words like manifestation because I think they're real huge buzzwords. You need to be able to master your own fate, not wait for things to be dropped in your lap from the universe, right? I believe in passionate action moving forward. But I mean, maybe that is the self-deception. Maybe the self-deception is that things will come to you all in good due time. Yeah. It is kind of a direct translation here, isn't it? Hold back. Don't charge forward and ahead passionately and boldly towards things. Don't go chasing them down. Because if you are truly working towards something and you are powerful enough, you can draw things to you. However, that is self-deceit. It's almost as if you blind someone here believes, and it is a false belief. If we look back at this Ace of Swords in the present, it's almost the false belief that the four walls of the home will survive anything. I firmly believe that I have chosen the direction of taking a back seat to the universe, allowing the universe to drive in with the guise of calling it manifestation. Yet there is self-deception in this, because simply saying that you manifest and allow the universe to take care of everything is not necessarily the way it works. And that's a common misconception, that if we say all the right buzzwords and we just hope and wish that everything will happen for us, as opposed to proactively putting ourselves to work for what we want in the world. That if we don't emotionally, if we hold back and we just simply trust in the universe that everything will come to us, is a fallacy. There's a certain element to that, of course, that is at play to a certain extent. However, for the most part, we have to boldly and confidently conquer what we wish to see happen in the real world for us. Action is eloquence. All right? In any event, let's move forward into the future for you, Sagittarius. It's in the taking charge of things that we make things happen. Things do not just simply happen for us. In fact, a great majority of the time, things do not simply happen for us. We have to make them. We have to actualize things in the real world for ourselves. And if the Emperor comes down, we'll know that to be true, because Aries is kind of the go-getter when it comes to that. I know. I'm an Aries rising. All right. Let's go. Come on. Sagittarius. Future. Okay. 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 They have a Ten of Swords. It was kind of like this. So I gotta take it like this. There's healing that's happening in the future for you, Ten of Swords. There is healing. You're healing something that has to do with the four walls of home, or the four posts of the marriage bed, or with a firm foundation that was kind of rocked. It doesn't seem like in the present that firm foundation has been unnecessarily rocked, but it might just be healing the attitude that everything that you work for is a burden, or the responsibility is all yours. It is a fallacy for you. It seems to be trickling down that could be the case, or that everything is ultimately up to you to sacrifice in order for that to be successful for you. You're healing that. You're coming out of that energy. You're getting to a point where you're no longer feeling as if there's sickness, grief, isolation, illness, and loneliness associated with that. There is an end in sight. There is an end in sight with the world there. Yeah, there's an end to that deception element to that. It's the end of a cycle for you. It's an end to false belief, I believe, here, what we're seeing. The world is the fixed signs of Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. Could be seeing this during Leo season, which is coming in the next month. Could also be during Scorpio season. With the Knave of Swords here, which is, it's the need, this is our Page of Swords. The need to, there's either denial or willful ignorance, whichever you want to call it, that has to do, it's almost like turning a blind eye to the end of a situation, or turning a blind eye. There's somebody who's, exercising denial or willful ignorance at the same time as all of this, about how their lack of action or action-orientedness plays a factor in their success. Especially seeing this, especially with the Magician and Knight of Wands in close proximity. It's like above this is the Two of Swords in the reverse. Picking a destination when you hit the fork in the road, yet not charging forward. And then expecting the Magician to do, the Magician there, just to say, well, I picked a fork in the road. I picked one of the two directions in the fork in the road. Now I'm going to manifest something, but you're not really doing anything because you're not charging ahead and you're not communicating, and you're also in the future choosing not to learn the lessons or impulsively communicate where it might be wise to do so. This is turning a blind eye, willful ignorance, and ignoring where one could learn. Also, yeah, it's just denial. Denial of where an ending to a falsehood or a false belief, or where healing that has taken place or has occurred has brought something to an end, or where one cycle has closed so that a new one can be ushered in, where lessons have been learned so that new ideas and transformation can take place. And else? Seems to be a lot of communication. Words, communication on the board here. Ideas, creativity and inspiration. There are 2 cups on this board thus far. Actually 3, sorry. Because we have the King of Cups, we have the 9 of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups. But it's all in the previous, it's all in the past. The rest of this is all swords and wands. So communication, air and fire, right? So it seems like this is all about your ideas, your creativity, your inspiration, your communicative side. Justice, equilibrium, fairness, truth, resilience. Your stars. So hope, healing, faith, your path towards a goal greater than yourself, something that lasts longer than you will on this planet. But it is the hope and faith that you need to keep intact. Aquarius energy. So it seems like in the future you're still kind of, I mean, I gotta call it what it is. It seems like you're still kind of in denial, operating on blind hope and faith that your manifestations are going to come to reality without the appropriate action as wind behind them to propel them forward. So it's like, where's the action in this? With the exception of healing and recognition of where you could improve. Okay. We have communication of something. It's almost like a small offer, a peace offering, a timepiece, something of worth, something that is an offer on the tangible plane. It's a communication on the tangible plane, offering up some sort of wisdom of some sort. With the 5 of Cups in the reverse, gratitude. There's gratitude for this, or there's recognition of where there should be gratitude. Somebody having a conversation with somebody else about where gratitude should be, or recognizing where an exercise of gratitude should occur, or it's seeming as if this is a gift that somebody is expressing gratitude for. Might it also be a pep talk, because it seems to be something of worth as far as wisdom that's imparted upon you. It's almost as if somebody is telling you off not to be looking at what has been spilled, but to recognize what is still intact. But also the word of wisdom about how to really bring something into reality, onto the tangible plane, as opposed to simply being expectant of something. to kind of materialize into thin air I'm getting here, right? And then somebody actually saying, you know what, you're right, thank you, right? Thank you for calling it like it is. Because really, the aim is here for you to look at the star. There's something graceful in this as well. Bottom of the deck, you have the Three of Wands. You know what it is there's impatience. You're growing impatient. The inability to wait any longer. There's eagerness here. It seems that you're placing a lot of pressure on yourself to move forward. And feeling irrational and rushed, and a little bit of moodiness and anger, hot temper. But the work hasn't been put in. This is apprenticeship energy, Eight of Pentacles, the work, when really the call to action. You know, you need to be action-oriented, Sag. You need to go after what you want. The Emperor is Aries energy. Remember what I said? That person takes action. It's about taking charge, going after what you want. Really moving forward towards what you want, and being not demanding but commanding, and going after what you want, as opposed to simply trying to conjure it up or expect that the universe is going to bring it about for you. Okay. All right, magnetic poetry for you, Sagittarius. Like I was saying to Aquarius, we're going to put these in a line for you now instead of doing them kind of in a little bit of a rectangular format, because I don't want people to believe that it's being engineered any one way or another. Take what you will, leave the rest. If this made sense to you, and if not, then is what it is, but you know, come back next time. Oh, yeah, 2 2s. All right. Okay. All right. Anyway, maybe we'll just try and get you like 1 or 2 more things here, because it's kind of weird that we had that many. Huh? Okay. All right. Maybe this is happening during Leo season for you. Anyways, we'll see you when we see you next. Thanks for listening, Sag. Bye. Well, you know, most tarot is not happy-go-lucky. Oh, everything is amazing and everything's going to be so great forever and ever. Okay, anyway. Bye.